Hey squad, welcome back to the BOD Squad podcast. I'm your host, Tam Styles. And if you've been following along, you know we are building a step-by-step approach to leveling up your health, your fitness, and your confidence. Today, we are talking about food tracking. Food tracking is the next step in our fitness journey because this is the bridge between what we do in the gym and what we drink and what ends up on our plate. It is our tool for awareness, our reality check, and the foundation for everything else we are going to cover next: calories, macros, and fine-tuning your nutrition. I'll break down everything: why tracking matters, how to do it without stress, common mistakes people make, supplements people take, old school versus new school methods, and how to make real progress. So if you think about this, if you were trying to save money but never looked at your bank account, how would you know where your money is going? And that is exactly how most of us treat food. We think we know how much we eat, but research shows we underestimate calories by 20 to 40%. And that's huge. Food tracking is about awareness, not punishment. It helps you see exactly how much you're eating. It helps you understand patterns like skipping meals or overeating at night. It helps us notice where extra calories are sneaking in. Maybe it's that coffee creamer or evening snack isn't as innocent as it feels, or the list goes on. But once you see the data, you can make intentional choices and not just guesses. So food tracking in my training program, this is why food tracking is the third step in my program. First of all, we get aligned with our goals, we figure out our why, and then we dial in our hydration. That's important, the most important. And now we're on to food tracking. So the foundation for building muscle, losing fat, improving your performance really does have a lot to do with what you do in the kitchen. Without tracking your calories, your macros, and your portion control, we are just guessing here, and guesswork rarely gives us results, or consistent results anyway. And tracking the food helps us gap the bridge between our intention and our reality. So I do hear people say I can't track food because I've had a history with disordered eating. And I want to say eating disorders are a very real and serious thing. And if you are in recovery, tracking might not be the right tool. That's valid. But not every failed diet or failed attempt at logging food is an eating disorder. Sometimes it's just the method you're using didn't fit you, or the experience was frustrating. That's not the same thing. And something important to note is changing your body, losing fat, building muscle, or improving your physique is hard. Feelings are going to come up: frustration, doubt, even moments where you feel like you're failing, and that's normal. Feeling challenged doesn't mean you should quit. Struggle is part of the process. It's not an excuse to stop. So think of it like this. We've had bad haircuts before or experiences before, but it doesn't stop us from living or trying. Same with food tracking. If one method didn't work for you, adjust. Let's try it again. Now, back in the day when I first started tracking and training, I started doing everything with pen and paper. My workouts, my food, everything. Pen, paper. I would religiously read the food labels, jot everything down. And it was effective if you were consistent. But today, we have so many more tools at our disposal. We have wearables, we have the apps. But just remember that they're not all perfect. These tools are guides, and they just help us notice patterns and how to adjust in our real life. There are definitely mistakes that people make when we're tracking food. The first one is eyeballing your portion sizes. So same, pasta, cereal, nuts, oils. Just because it says like a certain amount of calories on the box doesn't mean that that's the amount of calories that you put in your bowl. Watching portion sizes are important, and that's something that we will learn as we go through the program. Another thing is trusting those cardio machines or double counting exercises that, like, say, the calorie burn number on your treadmill or your elliptical. Those are not accurate numbers, so don't take those into consideration when we are calculating our calories. We'll go into that later as well. We're tracking Monday to Friday perfectly, and then letting Friday to Sunday slide. A few untracked days can erase a whole week of consistency. But I prefer, if you're going to eat something, then to track it right away. Don't wait until the end of the day and then try to remember everything. Just get into the habit of, as you're consuming that food, we're putting it into our tracker. You will be amazed at how many times you'll notice that, like, it's not worth getting your tracker out and writing the food in there, and you don't need the food. And if you are on a fat loss journey, that's a good thing. So keep that in mind, that, tracking the food also like helps us notice when we're eating out of boredom or whatever. Maybe we're not really that hungry, because if it's not worth tracking it in our food tracker, then it's not worth the effort to eat it. You really weren't hungry. Another thing is tracking our supplements, like our fish oils, our vitamin C gummies, our flavored BCAAs, or our creatine gummies. All that shit contains calories, and we need to track those. So don't forget that. If it goes in your mouth, it goes in your food tracker, you guys. They're not huge, like all these small things, but over time, it does add up. So don't overlook all those healthy little extras. And if you are new to this, here's a simple plan. Just pick one method, an app, a journal, or even taking photos of your food. Track for just 3 days in a row without changing anything. Just observe. Don't worry about the calories. Just look for patterns. Are you low on protein? Are snacks dominating your meals? Where are most of your calories getting in? So remember, tracking is a teacher. It's going to show you where you are so that you can make smarter choices. It's not about obsession. It's about awareness. It's like training wheels. You won't need to track the food forever, but it will teach you about portions, balance, and habits that eventually become automatic. So here is your challenge. Start tracking your food. 3 days this week, no judgment, no stress. Don't worry about anything. Just track, just observe. Then in the next episode, we will start to break down calories and energy balance so that you'll understand why behind what you've been tracking. Thanks for joining me today on the BOD Squad podcast. If this episode gave you a light bulb moment, share it with a friend who's on their fitness journey, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And trust me, you are going to love what we dig into when we break it down some more. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.